I want to welcome everybody to our house building series. In this episode, we're going to go over pouring structural concrete. I'm going to show you the things that I feel is important to look for so you end up with a good, strong job, from rebar placement in the pour to consolidating using a vibrator and what it should look like when they pull the forms off. I can't stress this enough. When pouring anything structural, it should always come out of a truck. Really hope you find some value in these videos. So enough of me talking, let's get to it. Well, today's the day to pour the bases. You can see all the columns are up. You can see the rebar cage in the bottom there. You actually have some standoffs in there so concrete flows around everything. And right here is a really important piece of equipment when you are pouring concrete. If you don't use one of these vibrators, the concrete a lot of times won't flow all the way around the rebar. You'll end up with voids and you lose strength. So I was so happy to see that they brought this out. And there's the gang. Got a little room built here to store stuff. Pretty self-sufficient, and they dug themselves a bathroom right here. Once again, they scheduled the concrete truck for 1 o'clock. I'm going to be interested to see if it shows up around 4 or 5 again. Thai time. All right, concrete truck just pulled in. I guess that's an international language. Whoa, whoa, whoa. ภาษาเดียวกันบ้านเรานะ Whoa, whoa, whoa. And here it comes. Well, that's one down and like 21 more to go here. We'll get her done. This row here is completely done. You see they put all new centerline marks down on the pad here. They're going to be setting the forms to start pouring the columns today. Looks like they got the forms for the columns here. They got them all oiled up. I designed the house so that it's up off the ground on stilts. I want air to be able to flow underneath the house because of rainy season and everything here. I don't want mold growing in the house, so I'm trying to head that off by keeping the house up in the air and letting air flow underneath the house to keep it dried out. So it makes building a little more difficult. They're going to set and pour these forms up to a designated height because of the house being up in the air. Once this is set up and they strip these, then they have to form for a grade beam that'll go around and connect all these columns together. After that's done, they'll put precast plank, which will form the floor. The house is going to be up in the air 1.2 meters. It'll be enough to crawl underneath there if anything goes wrong with plumbing or whatever. I'll have access. She's going to fly away with that add-on. They lock the base in right there with wood on both sides. That's some pretty thin wood to be setting scaffold on. I've done some pretty sketchy things in my day, but you can catch me climbing on that. So all the shorter ones that you see in there, they're going to have a grade beam poured on them. Check these out. Looking pretty good, man. I have to admit, compared to the way we do things in the States, it's like these guys are working with Flintstone tools here. But they're really doing a good job. I'm impressed. Everything is pretty much on the money. I can't wait to see how the next phase goes. After this is all poured, they're pouring this tomorrow. They will strip these forms off, and next step is to pour the grade beam on top of it. All these outside ones, they're getting poured all the way up. They're holding roof. After the grade beam is poured, then they'll reform up the rest of the way and then pour the rest of them all the way to the top. Then we're getting close to being able to put a roof on. Once the roof's on this, there's no stopping then. It can be raining and we'll have inside work. Definitely something important for you to check when building to make sure that the rebar is not against the forms. Rebar needs to be inside, away from the forms, so it's totally surrounded by concrete. My advice, if you're building here, you need to have some knowledge and come out and double check things to make sure, just little things like this, you know, if the rebar's touching the side of the form. That's not good. It'll rust, it'll pop the concrete. It's just not good. It's supposed to be inside like this. Anytime they pour concrete, I highly recommend that they use a vibrator to consolidate the cement to make sure there's no voids anywhere. Seen it many times here. They pull a form and there's a big hole around the rebar everywhere. If I did my math correct, we're going to end up with a little over 2,000 square feet under roof. Cement truck scheduled for around 1 o'clock. They got everything all braced, straight, squared away, ready to pour. I'm impressed. We're really lucking out with the weather. It's a perfect day for pouring concrete. It's overcast and it's actually sprinkling just a teeny little bit, so won't dry out too quick. Got all the forms stripped and looks like they're starting to get ready to form up for the grade beam. Got plastic over the columns here to keep the concrete from drying out too fast. Perfect. Got everything graded off really nice. Got that perimeter down. So much easier to walk around here now. This is great. Looks like this is all lining up real nice. Now that's what you want to see. There's not a bunch of holes in the concrete. Rebar is nice and centered in the pour. Perfect. That's what happens when you use a vibrator. The next step is forming up for the grade beam, and they have to make the rebar cage that goes inside the forms, and then they'll be pouring everything for the grade beams. Whether you're new to our channel or back for more, help us out. If you know somebody that might like this video, feel free to share it. It's going to help YouTube to get our content out there. And we're looking forward to seeing you all on the next one.